this information look like, and how could it be used?
Thank you for having me. The integration of this data from the IRS can be used to blend it with both sort of travel data, immigration data, consumer data that would allow immigration enforcement agencies to use it to target individuals. You'd be allowed to see where individuals work, be able to see maybe more clearly where individuals live. But frankly, look how far we've come from a few years ago where both Stephen Miller and the president were talking about the millions of criminal individuals that they were wanting to sort of target and remove from the country. Now we're talking about targeting individuals that clearly are paying taxes, are working, are laborers, much like Mr. Garcia that was removed to El Salvador, someone that was a laborer, a union member. The administration is trying to find data and use data to target non-criminals, non-public safety, non-national security threats, to drive fear into the community. And more clearly, the use of IRS data drives migrants that came here through legal pathways, that are here legally, drives them more into the darkness. And what I mean by darkness is they begin working off the books. They pay less taxes. There's less revenue to Social Security and to our government, and it creates this sort of fear within the community, within the migrant community, that they can't work proudly and work hard in our communities.
Well, there was sort of this pact, right? If you do it the right way, if you go in, you fill out the right forms, you pay your taxes, whenever you need to go into an office, you do that. Not only would your information stay private, but you would stay safe, right? One undocumented immigrant who filed his taxes last year told NBC News, "This feels like a broken promise. It's like a betrayal." And he didn't even share his name, his full name, out of a fear of deportation. I mean, if undocumented immigrants do not pay their taxes out of fear that ICE could come after them, if they just don't pay their taxes because they frankly don't know what's going on, long term, what does it do? Does that ultimately just say to immigrants, "You're not welcome here, not give me your tired report, don't come"?
In my experience, in over a decade in Homeland Security and over a decade in the Department of Defense, in understanding the dynamics happening across the Western Hemisphere, migrants are going to continue to seek to come here to provide for their families and also exercise our laws that provide them protections to find a better path forward for themselves, both in what they do in their work and to provide for their children and their families. What you have here is an administration trying to choke out any potential pathway for migrants to come here. 18 months ago, as I mentioned, 12 months ago, this was about sort of going after, violent individuals and criminals. But this administration is doing everything to sort of take people out of the pool of individuals that are here legally, that are working in unions, working in small businesses, providing for their families, going to the courts and trying to show that they were being persecuted in their home country. And this administration is driving them to sort of this illegal status. And that creates a bigger pool for immigration enforcement to target. And that is quite, this administration, it misled us. They said for years that there was millions of people that they were going to be able to target. There were these violent criminals. And as you see with the students that are being targeted, and you see from just hardworking laborers being targeted and non-criminals, that was fake, that was false. And they're going to continue to peddle these sort of political narratives and this political theater to sort of drive migrants from coming to this country and filling the ranks of working class folks that this country has seen fill those ranks for centuries.
Jason Hauser, thank you so much for coming on.